sales on the Korean market. And this is because a combination of two factors. The elimination of an 8% tariff, but much more important than that, the consequences of the commitments that Korea has adopted in the technical regulation fields is that the big obstacle for currently selling cars in the Korean market disappears. Because the big obstacle is that this is a small market, and therefore it's not economically meaningful for a European car manufacturer to develop a model which is specific to the requirements of the Korean market. It is simply too costly, and that's the main barrier to entry for selling cars in Korea. With the equivalence provisions that we have developed, that would mean that the European car manufacturer would basically be able to sell in Korea a car which is fit to the specifications of the European market, without needing to develop specific features which are very costly and which act as a very high barrier to entry. This, frankly, all the indicators are this is much more significant than the 8% tariff. So if you combine the two elements together, I think that having worked with some European car manufacturers, particularly perhaps not on the record, and they may tell me something. Yes.
Hi, Richard Shin. Thank you for your clear presentation here. I have a question. You know, obviously these trade negotiations, both sides would gain out of this FTA. And so the question is, what was the Europeans' expectation of why Korea wanted this FTA, and what you thought Korea would gain relative to Europeans? And the second is, during your negotiations, did the stalling of the cross FTA help or hinder your negotiations?
I think we should react that question to the Korean government. They would be much better equipped to answer to that. And it's very clear that if Korea had seen no economic interest in this deal, they would not have been engaged in these negotiations. I'm sure that Korea saw economic benefits for it from this agreement, apart from the global benefits in terms of Korean policy of becoming a hub for attracting investment and having different agreements with the United States, the European Union. Very few countries in Asia have that. So I think there's a number of reasons why Korea was interested in negotiating this agreement. Now, has the impact on the current FTA helped or hindered? I don't know. I would not.
I was wondering, Representative Lenin has complained that Korea, in their economic stimulus plan, favored Korean automobiles, and he said that the U.S. economic stimulus plan actually favored all autos more equally. Now I'd like to hear your response about that and how stimulus plans in the EU have dealt with the issue.
I'm not sure personally whether it's appropriate for me to comment on something that Senator Levin has said. So I will not comment on the statement. My understanding is that the stimulus plans which have been developed by the United States, by Korea, and by a number of member states of the European Union are open to all types of cars, regardless of whether they are domestically produced or imported. And indeed, it's the only way we can actually develop one of those stimulus plans and be in accordance with your WTO obligations. So that is, I will just leave it at that.
All right, come on, take on Sandy Levitt. No one wants to take on Sandy Levitt. All right, well, if there's no other questions, I think we've had a very fruitful discussion and learned a lot about the EU-Korea FTA, perhaps more about others than we ever want to really know. So join me in thanking